Hi guys, Roman Superset here, back again doing another Analyzing Loss video. I know you guys love to see me lose, so here we go. Doing a Celeste lane with Bladeheart as a Rhyme, and then we have Lyra as our roam with Bruticus there. Incarnation is Bruticus. We also have the crew team, apparently. Ozdragon, Sids, and I don't remember who the other person is. I can't see, but they're going Catherine, Adagio, and Blackfeather. The Blackfeather, I definitely see the Rhyme being decent at going against him, but the downfall is the fact that we're going double CP. I don't think that was the best choice. I think primarily we should have gone maybe like, who knows, maybe an Alpha. I think Alpha does a little better job at dealing with Blackfeather, maybe. I don't know. I don't know a great counter to Blackfeather personally. I think maybe like maybe Sky can do a little bit better with him. But Rhyme, I think Rhyme is great, like I said, but you have to really land your abilities and you have to be able to do well in team fights. If you start to fall off, you're going to just get kited, and Blackfeather is going to build a stacks on you, and eventually you're no longer tanky because he has Breaking Point, and Breaking Point makes tankies into squishies. But yeah. So there we go. So we're going against the Adagio in lane. It's Sid's, a very great player. I was honored to play against him. I know who he is. Not personally, but I've been around for a while, and I've seen him quite a few times. So it's pretty awesome to go against him. But again, I'm Celeste, going the... hello. I did the stupid application update on my computer just went off. Anyways, there we go. So we're going, getting the farm. Adagio still in lane. Looks like the Rhyme is going great against the Blackfeather early game. Blackfeather early game is really hard to do well. You have to really start to get to mid game to really start to shine. When you get your ultimate, Blackfeather can be a pretty big nuisance because he has mobility now. So he can kind of kite around you and work around you, and it can be scary. Here, the Adagio's output early game. Here's the other way around. So in jungle, Rhyme's early game is probably stronger than Blackfeather's in my opinion. Whereas in lane, Adagio's early game is stronger than Celeste as far as damage output. The Adagio's B ability can do so much that a lot of times it's hard for me to combat the damage. And because of that, I cannot... Here's a situation where I would rotate. I would actually rotate right now to combat the Adagio from taking the farm. But at this point, it's super risky for me personally. I don't know if I can combat that because the damage is so huge. And I don't want to get caught off guard because we have no vision in there. So at some point, he can just expect me to rotate. Wait and brush. As soon as I get there, he pops a heal. I'm slown, and he's also doing damage, and extra damage because I'm burning, and I get taken out really fast, and that's really scary to me. So I didn't rotate. Should I have? Probably. If I was an amazing Celeste, I may have been able to do it. I don't know. I still just feel like the damage output would have been really nasty. But we do pick up the Catherine, so that was great. We did a lot of CCing there with the Catherine and myself, getting the double stuns going there. Not the Catherine, the slow from the Lyra, excuse me, and then the stun for me. So not double stuns. What am I talking about? So now we're going boots. We're getting the heavy prism, the energy battery for energy sustain, and a couple potions. I always grab potions on the way back to shop. If I don't, it's because I either am trying to get something done really fast, or you know, it's a lapse in memory. I forget to do it. But we do see Lyra go down by the Blackfeather, but luckily Blackfeather was low too, and I was able to pick him up. So that was great. And then there we go. Got the farm. Our farm's not too bad. We're not 10 CS per minute, but we're getting there. It can recover. We're at a point where it's not too far behind where we can still get that great CS. But it all depends on how aggressive the enemy team is, how many times I'm going to have to rotate potentially, or how much I get pressured into my turret and I can't farm properly. Who knows? Here I am. I'm trying to see if I can get the backs. So we're going to go ahead and go back there and see what we can grab. They did just pop up, so we're going to go ahead and do that one. Get a couple here and there. We did pick it up. Adagio got the second one. I'm going to go ahead and try to get the freak out while doing some damage to Adagio. At this point, I think I can take him out, so I go ahead and do so. But Catherine is going to take me out. There's no way I can combat this. Or not. Never mind. I forgot that actually happened. So Lyra did save the day, coming to my aid, and Catherine is just trying to maybe find me. I don't know. Maybe she's going to turrets. I think she went to turrets. Yeah. No, she went to Blackfeather to meet them. Okay. So now here we are. We're going to clamp on them. Looks like the Catherine is going to get rooted. I'm going to go ahead and throw a stun out. Got the Blackfeather. I was trying to go for the Catherine, but the Blackfeather was the one that got caught in it. And we did some damage to him. We did get the regen as well, so that's great. I'm really happy I got that one because getting that regen, well, one, it takes gold away from the enemy jungler, but two, I heal up and I get my energy back too. Here's where it's dangerous though. The freaking Blackfeather, but we do take him out. Oh, we missed our opportunity. I messed up. Right there, I could have taken out Blackfeather. He was still in range of my Supernova, and I missed the second cast somehow. The timing on it was really bad, and I just didn't pick it up. So that was very unfortunate. I could have got him pretty easy right there. Lyra is actually a little pressed. She has to back out. I'm going to keep farming. I have a couple potions still stocked on me, so it's not too bad. I can heal myself. All right, so let's see. All right, so we're still farming. Our farm is looking a little bit dismal here. We're falling behind slowly but surely, trying to recover, but you know, it's hard when you have a lot of pressure. It really is. The worst for me is when you have a Lyra in lane pressuring. Here I missed my stun, and we do try to take him out, but here's a mistake. I did not pay attention to the fact that Adagio was just wailing on me. I literally had no idea. I was so focused on getting the Catherine that I did not know that Adagio was hitting me. And that was a big mistake. Map awareness is important, guys. I'm at fault for doing it too. Not everybody can have 100% map awareness, and that was really unfortunate. And that wasn't even map awareness. That was more so just my immediate area awareness. Because he wasn't in the map that I can, you know, potentially I could have seen him on the map. But he was already in my field of vision. So it wasn't even map awareness at that point. It was just awareness of my positioning. And knowing that I could get ganked, and I did. There we go, grabbing the back. So a lot of times when your enemy jungler is being taken, or jungle is being taken by your jungler, a lot of times the laner can come down and rotate and take your own jungle to catch up on farm if he's behind, which is what I did. Because by the time Reim gets back to his base and then comes back down to jungle, the jungle should be back up. If that is what he's going to do. He might just go back into the jungle, who knows. Looks like he is coming up, maybe, or maybe going back into the jungle, who knows. Catherine's going to try to just do a little bit of stunning here. A little bit of CC going out there. Reim's kind of sitting back, trying to see if he can get the farm while we do our thing. Stun the two of them so that he can pursue the Lyra. So luckily we got some good damage out there and a little bit of control on that guy. And he is going to go down. No, he moved out of it. But we did get Adagio. Luckily, that was not intended, but we did get it, so that was amazing. Getting that Solar Storm onto that Adagio was definitely a really lucky situation here. Blackfeather is really ballsy right now. He was super low. Luckily, he had an ultimate up. His Rose Offensive saved the day for him and allowed him to escape. At this point, I'm just going to ignore Catherine. Well, the Supernova didn't allow me to, but we're just going to go ahead and take the turret. There we go. A lot of times, if the turret's low, yeah, the kills are amazing, but you might want to just focus on the turret. Because if you don't hit the enemy and you focus on the turret's still hitting minions. And if no one hits that target, then you're good to go, because what will happen is they're still defending it while the turret's not hitting the enemy. And you guys can keep pushing. You push, 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 and take out the turret while they're even right in front of you. A lot of people make the mistake of, okay, we're on their turret, but we can get this kill. But is that kill worth the extra, what is like 100 something gold that you get on that one person? Or the 900 total gold that you get on the turret kill? Because it's 300 per person. I would say the turret's more valuable than that one little kill. And so that's definitely something to consider when you're playing in the lane or just in the game in general. It's a good tactic to know. A lot of times focusing objectives is more important than getting kills. All right, so we're 5-1. We're doing pretty good. Our farm's not too nasty or too bad. We're looking for a good snipe here. I'm trying to trail to see if I can actually land this, and I am going to fire it here in a second because I can see an opportunity coming up. So here you go. I fire it. He did get the slow. We get the hit, but not enough damage. That actually probably would have not hit as accurately without that Reim getting his ultimate off, but luckily he did. But here we are trying to take out the Catherine. I think we're going to be able to pick her up because she's looking pretty low. There's the root. I'm just trying to trail in front in case she does move around, and we just take her out. So they're going to get the backs, or their mids and backs, and then we're going to go ahead and push the lane again, just getting our farm going here. We don't want to fall behind too much. A lot of times laners tend to rotate a bit too much and end up losing their farm. Rotating is great, but a lot of times rotating too much is more, it hurts your team more negatively than positively. Yeah, so. Another thing with Celeste is you got to be good with landing your stuns. You don't have mobility, so it's completely reliant on you to land those stuns to get you that distance between that person that's trying to kill you. The hardest one I say is definitely either Taka, Skye, or Blackfeather. Here I made a mistake though, because Blackfeather does just do his whatever you call it, his freaking A on me, gets a little bit of damage on me and kills me. I should have backed out. I should have known that I was going to be in a position where I can die by Blackfeather, and I didn't. That was a mistake on my part. We all know we're going to lose, so it's just a matter of time before this starts to snowball the other way around. So as far as point allocation, I go overdrive on the A. You want that extra range. You want that extra damage. You don't overdrive your stun. There's really no point. You get a little extra cooldown, I believe, and maybe some additional damage off of it, but the cooldown is still substantial enough to where it's better off to just get your ultimate overdriven. It's not even overdriven. It's just to max out your ultimates. There's no overdriven quality to your ultimate. It's just a matter of getting another level on it. But yeah, so there we go. For me, when it comes to farming with Celeste, a lot of people have problems with her because the way her projectiles are a little bit slow. Is I actually tend to just use my basic attacks while sitting in front of the minions. I'm not going to be ranged very far. The last thing you want to do is go full range and do your basic attacks to the last hit. A lot of times it's better to conserve your energy again, and also do basic attacks while close, because that allows the projectile to hit fairly quickly from the time you cast it, which helps with farming. So don't just heavily rely on your Healer Genesis to farm. You're going to deplete your energy resource. You're going to end up ruining the last hitting process, because what's going to happen is you're going to do AoE damage. You're going to get a little ahead of yourself in damage, and you're not going to be able to do all the last hits on all the minions because they're dying at like one after the other too quickly, because you're getting too much damage output. So you can see here I'm really close to the minion. I'm doing my basic attacks. I'm not sitting from afar unless I can like properly know that no one's going to do damage to it. Although I missed that one right there. So like I said, you pretty much just sit in their face. It's basically, you consider it a melee attack at this point. Like this one right here, like a lot of times too, another tip for laners is you can go ahead and, oh hello, don't want to combat that. Oh hello, Lord. Okay. So another tip for laners is never really try to just hit the minions that your minions are hitting. Hit the ones in the back. So you can see here, they're all hitting that big minion, maybe the front minion, and I go ahead and hit the ones in the back that aren't getting hit, so it's easier to do last hits. And I only get the ones that are being hit when they're bright red. See, the big minion's not getting hit anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and focus him. So I'm hitting the back one now. The front one's not red yet. Now it's red. Going to grab it. Now going to grab the big one. So there we go. That's a big tip for laning. A lot of you guys who are lower elo, a lot of you guys who are high elo are like, I already know that. But for low elo, that's what you do. You don't always hit the one that's in front. You hit the ones that are in the back that aren't damaged. That's if you want to push lane. If you're freezing lane, then it's a little bit different. If you're freezing lane, you only get last hits for the most part. Or you can equalize the lane. So, you know, if you want to set up for a gank or such, you can equalize a lane doing, you know, moderate basic attacks and some last hitting. Just kind of freezing lane in the center, allowing the enemy to try to push in and then overextend himself to get ganked. There's little tidbits of information that you can really use, and if you can perfect it, it really starts to really show for itself in a match. So our farm, again, it's not bad. It's just not amazing. But again, this match has been fairly aggressive, so I have to say that has influenced a bit of my farm. I have a bad time sometimes thinking of when to rotate or when to engage, or should I clear and then go to my teammates, or should I just ignore the farm and go straight to my teammates because they're in trouble, that kind of thing. It's just a finite balance that you have to learn. At this point, I saw the 2v3 or 3v2, but Adagio was pushing turret. I didn't want a turret to go out, so I went ahead and decided that, hey, I'm going to go ahead and deal with Adagio, block that ultimate, do my ultimate, and get out my damage. And we do take him out right here. So there we go. And another thing too with Celeste is when you're doing like 1v1s like that, or just in general, I tend to weave in basic attacks between Heliogenesis. So a lot of like lower tier players will just, once they get into a team fight, they'll just sit around and wait for their Heliogenesis to put out damage. But a lot of times you can sit a little bit closer and put out Heliogenesis and put out basic attacks in between those and get a little extra damage off, allowing your team to excel a little bit better in that team fight and maybe even pull forward and win that team fight. So that's something to consider too, is weaving in basic attacks between your Heliogenesis. But yeah. So you can see here, a lot of my farming, I don't use a lot of Heliogenesis if I don't have to. Sometimes when I'm trying to push the lane quickly, I will. Or if, you know, I feel like, you know, it's, hey, this is a good opportunity to use the Heliogenesis, I'll use it. But for the majority of it, I tend to just try to use my basic attacks. But here we go. We're looking pretty nasty right now. I'm going to ult and get the Black Feather there. I kind of saw him going downwards, so I kind of ulted in front of him in the direction I thought he was going to be running. And unfortunately, I did get him, so that was awesome. But yeah, here we go. Going in for another kill. We are not going to get it. I'm super sad right here because I messed up once again trying to get to Catherine, but they're weaving out of my Heliogenesis, and I cannot pick it up. That was very unfortunate. It really sucked on our part, especially my part, because I could have gotten that. But again, no one's perfect. I tried my best. It just did not happen the way I wanted it to. Here's a little bit scary because now we're not looking too good. I'm actually wanting to take out the Adagio, but he told me get the freak out because you're low on energy, and I was like, yeah, good point. So here we are, grabbing the Frostburn. The reason why I went Frostburn is I wanted to be able to do a bit of CCing, soft CC being a slow, not a hard CC being a stun, and slow that Black Feather a bit from chasing me, and also allowing me to chase a little bit heavier. I'm trying to get some good damage off of the Black Feather, but I'm just not successfully doing it. And I'm going to get taken out because he's just getting his stacks and it's going to pop him and I'm going to be dead. I try to ult. Should I have ulted there? Probably not, because now I'm on cooldown. But, you know, it's a last dire attempt to survive. Hoping that Eve will give me enough health to do something. I don't know. So they did get the ace. Here's the turning point. So, again, with the way the bounties work, a lot of times you got to be very careful mid to late game, because what happens is that, yeah, you were in the lead, but as soon as you get that kill on that, you know, on the carry that has a lot of kills, or just, you know, the team in general, that gold that they get from you is substantial, and the gold you get from them is far less. So over time, if it keeps happening, the gold balances itself out, and eventually it goes in their favor because now they can turn it around and make a great push. And that's kind of what's happening right now. We were doing really well. I'm 8-3, not bad. Farm's not horrible, but you know, it's starting to topple in their favor because of the fact that that BF is starting to get a lot of damage output out. He gets the stacks, he gets those A's popped on people, especially like squishies like me, and it just takes us out. We can't do anything. You have to be really good with your positioning, really good with your landing your stuns and getting your supernovas off. Supernovas including positioning in that too, knowing where to place them, and knowing how to trail, and knowing how to, you know, bait them into your supernovas, that kind of stuff. And building stacks too. You don't want to really ult unless you can build some stacks. Again, we had a really rough time. That silence was very unfortunate for us, and he's going to take me out. And then Rhyme's going to go ahead and die too by the Black Feather, because the Black Feather, like I said, Rhyme early game is great, but Rhyme late game against a Black Feather, for the most part, he's probably going to get demolished just because Black Feather has better survivability, in my opinion, because he can constantly cast out that on point and get a bunch of barrier, and while doing so, he's getting a bunch of damage buff on his basic attacks through those stacks. And, you know, Rhyme has great survivability too, but I think Black Feather's just a little bit better as far as, you know, weapon power Black Feather against a CP Rhyme. Because Black Feather's a little bit easier to land abilities too. His A is, you know, it's non-targetable. Or no, sorry, it is a targetable one. It's just not a skill shot. Whereas his B is a skill shot, but then again, it's a little bit easier to land because it's not about timing as much. Rhyme's A ability is a little bit slow, and so it's all about timing and getting him to go in that circle to explode. Whereas the on point's just one straight damage. So it's a little easier to land too. So that's another thing too. Character difficulty, hero difficulty, I mean. It factors into the team fights, swaying into their favor. So now they get the Kraken, so they're going to have at least take out one turret, probably maybe even two, because we're not going to be able to do a lot of damage on it because of the fact that Black Feather will just dive in on us. And then also we have, you know, their Adagio to worry about, because even though Adagio falls off a little bit late game, he still does nasty damage. It's not like he's completely irrelevant late game. All right. Trying to get some poke off. I'm placing Cauldrons, Heliogenesis, around so I can do my Supernovas once they show up. That's the reason why I'm doing that. I'm kind of just getting positioned into a situation where it's favorable for us. Getting those little areas set up where I can explode the Cauldrons and do that damage like that. But here's Blackfeather just diving me, trying to find a situation where he can just take me out. And again, it's looking really difficult. That was a very bad ult because Catherine's shield was up. But we do pick up the 2 kills right there, doing a lot of damage from Ryman and myself. But at this point, we need to focus Kraken. They back up from chasing Blackfeather. I'm back onto Kraken, so are they, and we're going to take him out. He's not even going to get that second turret. So fortunately, we did get that double kill, allowing us to stay in the game a little bit longer. But again, like I said, it's starting to not look good. I get focused every time. And here's where I'm going to start getting that defense against Blackfeather, because I'm realizing... And also, you know, my teammates are saying, yeah, I think Blackfeather is becoming an issue. You need to get some armor. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm heading towards. And so I got that metal jacket. You know, I was unsure if I should get metal jacket or if I should get Atlas Pauldron, because he does dive me, so it allows me to get that distance needed to use Atlas Pauldron. Because it's unavoidable. He's going to dive me. So he's going to be in my face. So therefore, Atlas Pauldron is, you know, castable and, you know, able to hit him at that point. But I asked, like, should I get metal jacket or should I get the... Atlas Pauldron? And honestly, they said metal jacket, but I truly feel like the Atlas Pauldron would have been better because he does go Bonesaw, I believe. And because he goes Bonesaw, that negates a lot of damage mitigation from the armor. And Atlas Pauldron, you can't mitigate a attack slow. So that damage that he could be doing, he's not, because he just can't stutter properly. So that completely negates damage for a while. Not completely, but that effectively does. Here, I'm trying to position myself in a favorable position in front of my roam, but we just cannot get it. And I cannot, you know, I'm not paying attention to some of the heals too that Bruticus is laying out, so that was unfortunate because missing those heals is affecting not just Lyra, because she's desperately trying to keep me alive, but it pulls him away from Bladeheart too, so that was not good. So I think we have one more fight in this and it's pretty much done. We're looking pretty bad. I'm pretty sure another Kraken is going to be hitting pretty soon. There it is. It just popped up. If they don't get it, then they're going to be getting here pretty soon. I remember them getting it, I think. Bruticus is looking to get into position to maybe see what's going on. He sees Catherine is getting the minion mine, so he's going to go ahead and try to maybe kind of thwart that off, but it doesn't matter. Oz Dragon's going to go ahead and pick it up. All right, so... we are, for the most part, full build. We have the BM, the Frostburn, the Eve of Harvest, and then obviously the Metal Jacket and the Aegis. I'm a little heavy on defense, only because their damage output was pretty nasty early game from Adagio, and now Blackfeather is a little bit more of an issue now too. So I have double defensive items. A lot of times, you don't want to have to do that. You want to have one defensive and more offensive, because that AoE damage and the damage potential you pull from it is nasty. You can really turn the fight in your favor really fast, but my damage isn't amped as high right now. But yeah, so I would love to sell the Aegis and get the maybe a Shatterglass or something, or it may have gone Shatterglass instead of Frostburn potentially, since I knew I was going to get double defense, but it's not working. We do get our ultimate off, but we do not survive long enough because Blackfeather's is stacking on me, doing a bunch of damage. I think the big thing too was we weren't focusing the same target. So Ryan was focusing on Adagio, which is good. And maybe I should have focused on Adagio first too. But at the same time, Blackfeather was getting stacks on me, so maybe, I don't know, maybe we had to decide who we were going to focus on. We needed to decide, and we didn't. And if we had taken out one and then focused on the other, it may have been a little bit better, but unfortunately, we do get taken out. So there you go. That is the Celeste gameplay, analyzing a loss, another loss on the board. There you guys go. I hope you guys enjoy. Some slip-ups mid-game to late game. Really good early game, though. Just I think the composition, too, wasn't that great. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Later.